we are going to do the Exam 1 review, Part 2. There we are. Why? There we go. Like, why is it opening like that? Okay. So the last problem that we had done was problem 7. I'm going to go ahead and get this to delete. Scoot that up a little bit. We are working on problem 8 right now. And problem 8 says, it'll say like to evaluate for a variable. It could say solve. We've got 8 plus b, and it's telling me that my b equals 11. Y'all, so what you do is now where you see b, you plug in an 11. So it becomes 8 plus 11. Signs are the same. You add and keep. I get a 19. So that is my answer for problem 8. Okay. Whoa. Got just a little fancy pen work there. Didn't even mean to. Okay, y'all. So here we have 4x and a minus 3y, or a negative 3y. And it tells me that my x equals 5. And it tells me that my y equals 2. So wherever you see an x, now it's going to be a 5. And wherever you see a y, now it's going to be 2. So what you do is you plug in those values, making sure to use your parentheses. If you do not use your parentheses, what you end up doing is just writing 4, 5, minus 3, 2. That could not be more wrong, okay? This isn't saying 4, let me see, how could you say that? The 4x isn't saying 4, and then it's a 2-digit number. I don't know what the second digit is. That's not what it's saying. It's literally saying 4 times a number. We don't have to use the parentheses whenever we're talking about a variable, because the 4 is right next to the variable. That's telling me that they're multiplying. But I don't know what the number is. I have no idea what my x is. In most cases, you might not be given a value. In these problems that we've been working on, you are given a value, which means you know the value of that x. Let's plug it in. What's happening mathematically is it's 4 times the value of x, and my x is 5. So it's 4 times 5. Make sure you use your parentheses there. Now, if we actually just go ahead and solve this, you would use order of operations, which means we go from left to right like you would read a book. 4 times 5 is 20. And then we have our 3 times 2 is 6. Those signs are different, so it's a negative 6. We do 20 minus 6. Okay, so we know that's 14, right? What happened there was 20 minus 6, signs are different, so you subtract and you get 14, and then you keep the sign of the larger. Well, the larger number is 20, so you end up getting a positive 14. So that would be your final answer for that problem. Okay. Now we have 14 times a number. 14 times a number. It'll tell you to use x as our number. The reason why I'm using x is because I don't know what that number is, but I do know that 14 is multiplying it. So I know that that looks like that. Okay. Now let's do 45 added to a number. Again, let's use our x for our number. I know I have an x in this problem, right? So I can just go ahead and write my x. And it's telling me 45 is being added to it. So I've got a number and 45 added to that number. I want y'all to hear this. 45 plus a number added to 45. Do you see how those are worded differently? The one that's boxed in is we have a number and 45 is being added to it. So that's why it's on the right-hand side. In addition to our number, add 45. This is saying, in addition to our 45, add a number. This is also saying the same thing. So that's why those would be wrong. Okay, and then the one that's boxed in would be our correct answer. So we actually get 45 added to a number. Okay, 15 subtracted from a number. Y'all, it should be the same train of thought that you're using here. We have a number. I know I'm using X. I don't know what my number is. And I've got 15 being subtracted away from it. This is your answer. That is saying a number and 15 subtracted from it. That is saying 15 subtracted from a number. This is saying that something is being subtracted from 15. So this is wrong. Okay, so X minus 15. Okay, so problem 13 shows me a negative absolute value of 88. So I do notice there's a sign there. When I see the absolute value bars, I actually want to work within the absolute value bars, see what can happen there. Is it an expression? Is it 12 minus 3? Is it 14 plus 7? Is there something going on inside of my bars? In these absolute value bars, it's literally just the number 88. Well, if I think about the absolute value or the distance from 0 to the number 88, that distance is 88. You drop the bars, right? Now, this is where I look and I see, oh, there is a negative sign on the outside. So that means it's going to be attached in the front. If the negative was inside of the bars, remember how that's when you drop that negative sign. But this negative is on the outside of the bars. So the absolute value of 88 is 88. Oh, look, we had a negative sign on the outside. Okay. I don't know yet if I like circling it, deleting it, or if I like using the eraser. Problem 14 says 21 plus a negative 21. Y'all, additive inverse. If I have 21, what can I add to it to make it 0? What would cancel it, right? Wasn't it the same exact number with a different sign? It was. If I have $21 in my bank and I go to girls' lunch and I spend $21 eating lunch, I just now went from having $21 in my bank to none dollars in my bank. I got $0. I spent exactly the amount of money that I had. The only difference is here I had a positive amount of money, and then here I took away that same amount of money. So it's the same number, different signs. So my answer is 0. I think I do like lasso in it. Is lasso in a word? Lasso in it. Okay, so I've got a -4 and a -3. Let me say this differently. I have -$4 in the bank, and I just went negative again, more negative. Even though I had -$4 in the bank, because I don't get paid for like 2 weeks, I still wanted a cup of coffee, and it cost me $3. So I already had a negative amount of money in my bank, and I went more negative because I was thirsty. So what happens is I'm now -$7 in the bank. I'm now more negative in my balance. And another thing that I've taught y'all is if you have -4, -3, this is just like we're combining just regular numbers, right? We're just combining them together. So what do we say? Signs are different. You add the numbers, keep the sign. Why did I just say that? Y'all, I wish there was a way for me to go back and delete like 5 seconds of video. I hope somebody caught me and they're like, "Oh, miss, you're wrong. That was not right." Let's do that again, Jennifer. So I have these two numbers. What do we know? We know that if the signs are the same, those have the exact same negative signs attached to them. And if my signs are the same, you add the numbers, keep the sign. Those are the exact same right here, whichever way you look at it. I was -4 and I went more -3, so I ended up getting -7, or signs are the same, keep the sign, add the numbers. Regardless, my correct answer is a -7. I love when I kind of get ahead of myself and I just get all excited and then I mess something up. Hopefully that shows somebody like, hey, it's okay that I mess things up because even she messes things up. I am definitely human, y'all. I mess up every day. The difference is just knowing that you are allowed to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. Don't live there. Don't lose your confidence. Don't think, okay, I should even try because I keep messing up. After a while, like you catching your mistakes will happen quicker. That for me, I heard myself saying it. After I solved the problem, I heard my mistake. Some people may make that mistake. If you notice, I said the wrong thing, but I wrote the right thing, right? Some people may say the right thing and write the wrong thing, or vice versa. And it might take you a little bit longer, but as long as you're open to making mistakes and learning from them, you will be okay in this class, I promise. The best thing you can do is ask questions. There's a lot of material that's covered, but I'm always here to help, okay? So, especially these problems, y'all, I'm telling you right now, I didn't put many of this particular problem on the exam for the simple fact that one little bitty mistake messes up the whole problem. And yes, that is true for a lot of the problems, but I get that this one right here can look deceiving and really confuse somebody. So if you don't get this, make sure you ask me, okay? This one has some terms. What we have here is 2 plus 3, and then in brackets, we have a 4 plus 4. In parentheses, we have a 3. Close your bracket. So this is the fancy parenthesis bracket, parenthesis bracket. It's literally just so that you can find the innermost value and you can see what's going on there in case you need to actually compute something, if you need to evaluate something, if you need to solve something, right? So order of operations, first and foremost is the please. It's the parentheses. And I notice that I have 2 sets actually. So if I look at my largest set, it is around a 4 plus 4 times 3. So if I go further inside, what I see is that the one I need to work on is the 4 times 3. So did not touch, have not messed with, still not doing anything with it. Now stop. 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Those are the same signs. That's a positive 3, y'all. There's nothing in front of it. So positive and positive. Same signs is a positive. Close it. This is where when you rewrite it, you can go ahead and switch to parentheses because there's only one set, right? Okay, so let's do this. I'm still on please. I'm still on parentheses. I have not completely all of the way simplified what's going on inside of those brackets and parentheses. I notice that now I have these 2 terms that are being added together. So have not touched, did not mess with. Stop. In my brackets, I have 4 plus 12. Signs are the same, so they're going to be positive, right? I've got 2 positive numbers, which are going to combine together. They're going to add together to give me a positive. I know that they were in brackets originally, so I'm at least going to put them in parentheses. I want to switch to parentheses because I only have 1 set, but make sure you keep something around it because these 2 terms right here, they're multiplying each other. We just have to figure out what's going on inside of here first. So 4 plus 12 is 16. The signs are the same, so we just add it together and we keep the positive, right? There. Now, I noticed that what I actually have is 2 plus 3 times 16. Okay, so now I don't have any excuse. I do have a my. My meaning multiplication. Please excuse my. I do have multiplication. What I notice is that the 3 and the 16 in parentheses, that means multiplication, right? So I need to evaluate that first. I do 2, haven't messed with, plus 3 times 16, that would be 30, and then 3, that's 30. 6 and 3 is 18, so it'd be 48. Sorry. And then here, what I have is just addition. It's my ant, right? I have some addition right here. And if you do 2 plus 48, you get 50. Okie dokie. Now we have a negative 2z, negative 5z. It will tell you to maybe evaluate the expression. It'll tell you to simplify. It can tell you to combine like terms. All of those mean the same thing. I'm going to look to see what's going on here, ask myself the specific questions I need to ask myself, and then answer the question, right? So I notice variables and I notice operations. I have 2 minus signs, 2 negative signs, right? So I'm going to ask same variable, yes, with the same exponent. Yep, that's great. That means I can, quote unquote, do math on the numbers, right? And then keep and keep. So let's do the math on the numbers. Well, I've got a -2 and a -5. Those signs are the same. So we add and we keep it, and then keep and keep for our variable and our exponent, remember? If they're the same variable, same exponent, you keep and keep. So I've got a -7z. No. Okie dokie. This one a little bit longer. Hopefully y'all see it's not hard and it shouldn't be intimidating. We've got -5t plus 1 minus 3 plus 4 plus t minus 2. Also, -5, +1, -3, +4, +t, -2. Any way you hear me say it, they are the same thing. Some people prefer minus. I actually prefer negative. The reason why I prefer negative is because each of these are its own individual terms. I don't want to put the lines under them right now because I'm actually going to do it to solve the problem. But I'll go ahead and do it like this. That is a -5t. That is a +1, -3. Look at them individually. +4, +t, -2. If you can look at them individually, keeping their signs with them whenever you go to find like terms and combining them, it will make life a lot easier than seeing it as +1 -3. Well, that's telling me that I'm doing the operation of subtraction, and then all I have is just a normal 3. That's not true. That 3 isn't a positive. It is a -3. So keep the signs with the terms. Okay, so I notice here that I have a term with the t and another term with the t. What you do, same variable, yes. Same exponent, yes. Do math on the numbers. That's a -5 and a +1, right? That little invisible 1 right here. If you do math on those numbers, you get signs are different. So you subtract, keep the sign of the larger. Keep your variable, keep your exponent. Now, y'all, I notice I've got a +1, a -3, a +4, and a -2. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these out because I've already used them, right? And because they're kind of in the way, if y'all are okay with it, I'm just going to rewrite my problem, okay? +1, -3, +4, -2. Okay, I notice that all of these are the same terms. They can be combined together. So let me combine them together. If I do a +1 and a -3, signs are different, so you subtract, keep the sign of the larger. Now let me bring these down. Now, I know all of these are the same. So I'm going to, if y'all are okay with it, I'm going to do all three. If you wanted to rewrite it again, you can. You can just do the -2 and the +4 and then rewrite it with the -2 at the end. I didn't want to do it with 4 because it's kind of hard sometimes to keep up with the numbers, but I think we should be okay with these three terms. If I have -2 and I combine it with a +4, signs are different. So I would subtract, keep the sign of the larger, right? And then I notice right here that I have a -2. Y'all, what is that? +2 minus 2. Same numbers, different signs becomes what? 0, exactly. 4t is my final answer. -4t, I'm sorry. -4t is my final answer. Okay, we only have 2 more problems left. Okie dokie. We have 4t plus 3 times 1 minus 4t. Hopefully, what sticks out to you like a sore thumb is the 3 touching the parenthesis. That means I need to multiply everything inside of the parentheses with that number 3. So I get 4t. Haven't touched it, haven't messed with it. 3 times 1 is 3. Signs are the same, so it's positive. Now I'm going to look at numbers, and then I'm going to make sure I don't forget my variable, okay? 3 times 4 is 12. Signs are different, so it's negative. Don't forget that variable right there. It was attached to my 4. I did multiplication. It's going to be with my answer. It's going to be attached to that answer as well. Now I notice that in this problem, I have a positive 4t and a negative 12t. If you combine those, signs are different. So you subtract, keep the sign of the larger, keep and keep. Don't forget that positive 3, that's right there. My answer is negative 8t plus 3. Last, but certainly not least, we have a problem that is very similar to what we just did in 19, that second part on the right-hand side with the 3, but we're going to do it twice and then combine all the terms. So -5, open, 5y, -8, close, positive 3, open, 3y, positive 8, close. Multiply. 5 times 5, 25. Signs are different, so it's negative. Don't forget your variable. Multiply. 5 times 8 is 40. Signs are the same, so it's positive. There is no variable. Multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. Signs are the same, so it's positive. Don't forget your variable. Multiply. 3 times 8 is 24. Signs are the same, so it's positive. There is no variable. What's in common? I've got a negative 25y. I got a positive 9y. Signs are different, so you subtract, and you would get 16. Keep the sign of the larger. Don't forget your variable, right? It's keep and keep. And then I also notice that I have a positive 40 and a positive 24. Signs are the same. Add and keep. Just be careful if you do circle. Make sure you circle kind of not on top of your operation, okay? So we get a negative 16y, positive 64. Y'all, that's it. That's your exam 1, okay? If you're watching this and you have questions, please make sure you ask me, okay? And that's it. Thank y'all. Bye.